Hey everybody, I'm Nikki Bidell. I'm one of the directors of student ministry here at South Park Church. We are so excited to welcome you to another week of Fireside Chats. And this week we're going to be talking about graduation. We have several students in our youth group that are going to be graduating this June. So what better time to celebrate them than honoring them all week in our Fireside Chats. So what I want to chat about today, I like to call myself a recovering perfectionist, because I have been a perfectionist for way too long, and now I'm in the recovery of that, trying to accept that things are not always going to be perfect and I can't always do things perfectly. It's a long road. Maybe some of you guys can identify with that too. So when I was in high school, I was an absolute perfectionist in every way. I wanted the A+, I wanted the 100%. I tried so hard to do everything I could to have a perfect GPA and have my college application just look perfect. I wanted community service on there. I wanted to have just everything that I could put on there to have the best college application so that they would just want to have me. And then when I got to college, I did the same thing. I wanted a perfect GPA. I wanted a perfect resume. At the end of those 4 years, I wanted a full, hearty resume that no school was going to turn me down to come teach for them. So I worked so hard. I took more classes than I should have. I took summer classes. I never took a break. I tried so hard to be perfect in so many ways. And in trying to make myself perfect on a piece of paper, whether it was the college admission or the resume, I missed out on discovering who I really was, because I was just pushing myself too much. I had pressure I thought I had pressure from the world, but it was really me putting pressure on myself. And we all want to do good. We all, should strive to work hard. The Bible says we should work as though we're working for the Lord and not for people. And I think that's important. But we need to recognize when we're pushing ourselves too hard and when perfectionism is becoming unhealthy. I've dealt with anxiety and panic disorder for a long time, but when it got really bad was in college, when I was just pushing myself to be absolutely perfect, to get the best grades, to take more classes, to do more community service, to volunteer more. I ended up getting really sick. And even though people were telling me, you need to take a break, you should take, less classes, or maybe you should, take some time for yourself on the weekends instead of volunteering, I didn't listen to them. I kept pushing myself and had this idea of what I wanted to look like on that resume. And again, missed out on finding out who I was, because I had to deal with all these other issues that came up now. And I think that when we're in that stage of life, high school, college, young adults, starting our first jobs, we get a lot of advice. We get advice thrown at us from our teachers, our parents, our grandparents, friends. We get a lot of advice thrown at us during that time because there's a lot of decisions to be made. Everyone wants to help someone else learn from their mistakes, and there's a lot of wisdom from people older than us that they can give to us. However, I think that at the end of the day, the only true teacher that we really learn from is experience. One of my favorite authors of all time, C.S. Lewis, who I talk about maybe too much, has a quote, and he says that experience, the most brutal of teachers, but you learn, my God, you learn. And it is so true. There's so much wisdom in that, people can tell us, you need to take a break, maybe you should take this class, or maybe you should, volunteer with this organization, or, do this or that. Have you thought about this for your future? When I was young, we did this. You hear a lot of advice, and there's good advice, but I truly believe that the only way we really learn is experience, and it's brutal. I went through a brutal time in high school and college being the perfectionist that I was trying to be, instead of listening to the people who told me to take a break and take care of myself better. But now I've learned skills and know how to do that because I had that experience, because I lived through that and the choices that I made. And I want to share a verse. It's from Deuteronomy 31:8, and I've already shared this verse, but I want to read it from the Message version of the Bible, which is a version that's adapted into kind of more the way we speak today. And it says, God is striding ahead of you. He's right there with you. He won't let you down. He won't leave you. Don't be intimidated and don't worry. And so what I want to encourage all of our graduates is to know that God is right there with you when you're going out into the world and you're doing these things. And you just need to experience it. Listen to what people have to say, but at the end of the day, experience life for yourself. Go out into the world and experience it. And take time to discover who you are. Don't try to fit a piece of paper like I did. Don't try to push yourself to your limits so that you break one day. Experience life and take care of yourself. I hope you guys all have a great week, and congratulations to all the graduates.